When you have 0 notifications and you check your phone and you suddenly have one new notification, your brain lights up. You instantly want to click on it. Now imagine if you already had 47 notifications. You check your phone and you see one more message. Now you don't really care that much because it's just one of the many notifications that you have. But the thing is that 48th notification is just as important as the first notification. It's the same thing, it's a notification. But your brain does not nearly care as much for the 48th notification as for the first notification. That is a trap that ruins your discipline. Your brain loves going from 0 to 1. You feel productive even when you're not, and so you just keep chasing that feeling. Like you start a new workout plan instead of finishing the one you're on. You organize your notes instead of actually studying. You keep trying new productivity techniques instead of sticking to one long term. And way more. This is a problem because real discipline requires consistency and persevering even when it doesn't feel good anymore. Going from day 30 to day 90 doesn't feel nearly as good as like going from day 1 to 4. Even though that's where your life actually changes. The problem though is that it's ingrained in your brain. It's not simply something you can just ignore. So instead of working against it, we use it in our advantage. We do this with the ladder method. How it works is very simple. We take a very big project, I'm talking multiple years or even decades, and we turn that into small milestones so you keep experiencing 0 to 1 feeling again. Instead of viewing your project as one long climb to the top, you break it into distinct rungs on the ladder. You can look at each rung and milestone as like one mini project that takes you from 0 to 1. When you complete a rung, you get that dopamine rush of starting and finishing something. And then you reset the 0 to the next rung. At the end of the video, I'll also provide for you a free ladder method workbook with real examples and fillable templates that you can use for yourself. In order to create those rungs for the ladder, we first gotta figure out what the final destination is. A ladder is just a tool. It's like a vehicle that can just get you somewhere. But it's not the destination itself. There's no point in having a big ladder and project that you want to achieve if you don't even know where you want to place that ladder or where you want to go. Before you begin with the big projects, first think and figure out what you actually want in life in great detail. And this with the emphasis on great detail. This should be like your vision for the next 50 years. Don't hit me with the, but how do I know what I want so far in the future? Because true, you'll probably even change your mind down the line. Just focus on how you want your future to look like right now. If it then changes in the future, then so be it. But first we need to figure out what you want now in order to figure out the next steps. Now that you have the final destination, we can start building our ladders. For instance, if your final destination is to become financially free, then some of the ladders that need to be built are building a highly successful product or service that isn't dependent on your time. Before that, you need to create a highly successful product or service that is dependent on your time. And before that, you just need to create a product that is dependent on your time, etc. Just try to Uno reverse every big project that you need to complete. You should start with the last ladder that stands at the top and end with the first ladder that's on the floor. And that's the ladder that you can start climbing right now. By the way, if you need any help to become a more productive person, whether they be a more productive entrepreneur, student, artist, doesn't matter, just send me a DM on Instagram or ping me on my Discord server. I react to all messages, so ask anything you want, I'd love to help. Anyway, back to the video. Now that you have your ladders in place, you have a clear roadmap of how you're gonna get to your destination. Now it's time to put those rungs in place. You should first focus on the ladder that's on the ground. There's no point in focusing on the next ladders because more often than not, you probably don't even know which rungs need to be placed on those ladders. You'll only figure that out once you have climbed the first ladder and have a new perspective on things. Think of the rungs of the steps of the mini project that you need to complete. The number of the rungs is totally up to you, but do remember the point of those rungs is to give you that 0 to 1 feeling, and that is highly personal. For some people, just sitting down and getting started already gives them that 0 to 1 feeling. But for other people, it can be completing one deep work session on a task. Once you figure out your rungs, forget about the ladder and only focus on one rung at a time. For instance, one of my ladders is grow my YouTube channel. In order to do that, I have another ladder underneath that ladder called create videos. My rungs for that ladder are research and seek knowledge, convert that research into video ideas, figure out title and thumbnail IDs, etc. Now all of a sudden, creating videos, which is a very long and tedious process, doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. Because now, instead of thinking, damn, I need to create a new video this week, I now think, oh, I just need to read a few pages of this book. Or I need to figure out what title my video will be. or I need to figure out the hook of my script. This constantly creates that 0 to 1 dopamine hit for me. And every time I finish a rung, I actually get motivated to go on to the next. After every rung you finish, fully dismount mentally before you go on to the next rung. If you don't do that, it won't feel like a 0 to 1 feeling anymore. That's because you're blending multiple rings together and your brain will start thinking that it's one big task instead of separate smaller rungs. Dismounting doesn't have to be drastic. It can literally be as small as checking off a box, taking a 1-minute break, or walking around your living room and back. It can also be long if you need it, like watching a movie, going for a run, or working on a hobby project. Just something that clearly marks the end of that rung. Sometimes you don't always have the chance of dismounting. For instance, when you're like in a group class and you physically just can't dismount. So just look at dismounting as a rule of thumb rather than like an absolute rule that you have to follow. As promised, if you want a free PDF ladder method workbook filled with examples and fillable templates, just click on the resource link down below. Something really important that you have to keep in mind though is that scrolling on your phone is a no-go for dismounting. You might think that quickly glancing at it would do no harm, but it can completely spiral you into an endless doom scroll. If you're currently struggling with doom scrolling and keep getting distracted by your phone, be sure to check this video out. Thank you, join the Discord, link in bio, see ya!